Morning all. Here you find me in a churchyard in a village called Old. Yes, there is actually a village called Old. I'm here to talk about mental health. But a quick disclaimer: there might be some swearing, so if that offends you, switch off now. Although I will try and bite my tongue as best I can. Also, this isn't a video that I want anyone's sympathy. This is just highlighting mental health. So, moving on, why am I here? Well, let's just say growing up, I had difficulties, shall we say, and struggled emotionally, and I was picked on a lot. Let's put it that way. I know I was picked on a lot at school, junior school mainly, and when I come to secondary school, I was actually scared to death. I thought it was going to be hell. But actually, 90% of the time in secondary school, it was okay. Weirdly enough, so seemed to made better friends there than I did growing up. Which also brings me to another point in my life: thinking long and hard about things. People who I thought were friends where I grew up weren't my friends, except one, and I'll get on to him in a minute. Anyhow, I want to talk to you about the worst day of my life. Picture the scene. Back in the early 80s, and I don't know if you can read the headstone, but it says, "In memory of Miranda Jane Saffer, dearly beloved daughter and sister, 19th of November 1965 to 20th of October 1983. Love always." Now, why is that poignant with me? Like I was saying, picture this: back in the early 80s, CB radios were a thing. So you get chatting on there and, oh, fancy meeting up. Yeah, okay. And that's what I did with this poor girl. I just said one day, fancy meeting up. Okay. When you want to meet? Oh, Thursday night. Thursday being the 20th of October 1983. So, both being young and carefree like we were, we met up at this place, which I'll show you in a minute, which I hope I'm going to be able to record. I'm not sure now, because damn, my microphone's flat. I'll try and charge it, if I can. Anyway, getting back to the job in hand. I met up. I think it was 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the evening. We'd made a time for. Now, where we met up, I mean, where I'll show you, think, well, you know, it doesn't look a very good spot, but actually the road was very well lit because there's a football field behind, and they had spotlights, and the whole road was lit up as well as just the field. And I'll get back to that in a minute. Anyway, we had a laugh and a giggle for about an hour, and then decided to go home. We crossed the road. Somebody in a BMW, black BMW, speeding over the brow of the hill. I said to her, "Quick, we better get across the road quick. This guy ain't hanging about." He just about got across. I was clipped by the wing mirror of the car, and at the same time I heard this almighty bang. I looked left. I just saw a shoe in the road. I looked right, and I saw the tail lights of the BMW going over the, actually accelerating because he hit the kick down. He didn't even attempt to stop. He hit the kick down because it was an automatic, sped over the brow of the hill. And then I saw her tossed over the roof like a rag doll. You know, when you see a kid throw a doll and the limbs are just flailing around, that's the image I saw. And that's the image I keep seeing now. But back then, mental health, you were just left to get on with it. But one thing I will say, Pete, who I went out, you know, the same guy I went to Jack's Hill Caff, he came round to see if I was alright when he heard about it. He's the only one. Nobody else gave a toss. So that speaks volumes to me. Nobody else gave a toss. So Pete, if you ever watch this, you don't know how much that meant to me when you came around that day. It was totally unexpected because nobody else bothered. It was the same when my dad died. He was the only one that was actually concerned to see if I was alright. Nobody else gave a toss. There you are. But anyhow, she was dead at the scene. I was in full-on panic mode. The guys that were playing football in the field all come running over. Obviously, one of them must have got hold of the police. This is before mobile phones then, you've got to realise. Were a big thing. So somebody phoned the police and got the ambulance out, who were quick back then, not like today. It came out quick. I mean, it was in the newspaper, the local newspaper, the next day. They said she died on arrival. I think looking at her, she was already gone, to be fair. There wasn't a lot of blood, but the way she was lying, her head didn't look natural to her body. I think her neck was broken. Of course, there was the coroners. Went to the coroners, and then the Crown Court. And I can't believe solicitors could just defend people like this, but the guy had plenty of money. So in his statement, he thought he hit some scaffolding. This is what he said in his statement, because he thought because of the building work. There's no building work. The building was a bloody bus shelter over the road, which you're going to see in a minute. So yeah, total bullshit. And the guy only rang it in. I just thought I'll add. He only rang it into the police because his front number plate was missing. I think if his front number plate was still attached to his car, he wouldn't have bothered. I think he would have got his car fixed on the quiet. I just remember it being an ex-registered, like 1982, so it was like a year-old car. Black BMW. Can't remember if it was a 5 or a 7 series, but it was the one with the pointy front. So, well, there you are. And what did I do in the 40 odd years? Nothing. I kept suppressing it. I kept trying to forget about it. But every time I drive down this road, it triggers. Every so often I'll be at work, I'll get triggers, I'll get flashbacks, and I feel responsible for her death. And I know what people are thinking, well, you weren't the one driving the car. You're right, I wasn't the one driving the car. But I was the one that suggested we meet on this particular night. If we'd have waited a couple of nights, on a Saturday we could have met up in town. She could have still been alive. She could have had kids and grandkids now, could have had a normal life. That's all been taken away from her now. Because of me. So, and I'm sure, I don't know if I dreamt this or whether somebody told me this, but next to her is a brother. And apparently those two are really close. And apparently he took his own life because he couldn't live without her anymore. How true that is, I don't know. Like I say, I don't know if I dreamt it in my head or somebody actually told me that. I need to talk to a local that knows, because I don't know. And if that is the case, I totally destroyed the family. Totally. I am finally seeking help. I mean, this is just a part of it. If there's anything on your mind, if there's anything screwing with your head, and this isn't just for blokes, this is for women, anybody, for God's sake, talk to someone. Whether it be a professional, a good friend, or a decent family member, or a close family member, shall I say. Because, yeah, bottling it all up, trying to hide it, trying to bury it, hasn't done you any good at all. One bit. So there you are. Now you all know. The next video I'll show you now will be at the road where it all happened. Hoping to get some charge into this microphone. I don't know how it's gone flat. So we'll see. Anyway, I'll be back. Well, this is where it all happened. Yes, the road is busy. What you got to consider though, when we met, it was a lot quieter than this. So I don't know how the audio is going to work. I managed to get some charge in the mic. To my left is where we met in the bus shelter. Now, it wasn't our wooden one then, and plus the field behind is where the guys playing football, and they used to have spotlights up, you know, like the big like stadium lights. So all this road was lit up as well as the field. It seems like they've gone now. They don't use them anymore. So I suppose running with the cost of electricity, that running them, it's a no-brainer really, just to get rid of them. But anyway, we crossed about here. I was like, I can't really show you because it's busy. Hang on, I'll wait till this car goes. I was literally here, and she was ever so slightly behind. Probably not even half a step behind. Heard a bang. I felt something hit me. I immediately looked left and just saw a shoe in the road. I looked right, and the car accelerated down there. Oh look, a black BMW. Trigger car. Just what I wanted to see. But yeah, he carried on. He actually hit the kick down because it's an automatic car. He hit the kick down. He changed down again. He didn't even go for the brake. If you hit something, you generally brake afterwards. No, he didn't. He accelerated. He knew what he'd done. And it took her, I was going to walk there now, it took her all the way here. You know, so hopefully still getting audio. That's why I'm walking backwards, so the signal's not going through me. But she ended up past this sign. She ended up about here. Oh, now we're using an action cam, it's probably making it look a lot further, but worst day of my life. Worst day of my life. Now, even though I wasn't driving the car, I've said it before, I still feel responsible to this day. So please, anyone, if you're having issues, talk to someone. Don't bottle it up like I have, because you just end up a complete basket case like I've turned out to be. So there you go. So there you go, there you have it, that's my story. But to my best mate Pete, just showing your concern just means the world to me. I do hope this audio's worked. Right, anyway, that's the end of my story. I'm just going to go for a ride now. So, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Just on my way to work, it's the same day I've done that. On a health video and story and everything else. Just to give me some closing thoughts. Firstly, there was the court case I went against the driver. He did bring it in, but he only brought it in because the front number plate was lost on his car. It was at the scene of the accident. He didn't stop, he accelerated away. And exactly the opposite of what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do when you have an accident. Left it. So, but he phoned the police when he got home. Obviously realising what was missing. So the police went round there and were knocking back whiskies and everything. I believe he was clearly already drunk. In fact, I'm almost certain of it. How do solicitors sleep at night? Knowing that their client is lying through their back teeth. How do they sleep at night? In his statement, he said he thought he hit some scaffolding. You've just seen the road. I've put it on video. The only building there is the bus shelter opposite. Apart from back then it was a wooden one. There was no building work. He knew that. He knew what he did. But he had plenty of this. He got himself a good solicitor. and he got offered a 6-month ban and £250 fine. That's it. Didn't get no conviction.